From WFRV TV, Local 5, serving Northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Well, 2 days from right now, the 52nd Downtown Appleton Christmas Parade, which thousands will enjoy either street side or they'll watch it live right here on Channel 5. This morning, a behind-the-scenes look at not only what it takes to make this parade happen, but also what's in store, what's new for this year. And the two men joining us this morning, they've got all the answers. We are joined by Corey Otis. He is the parade committee chairperson with the fancy Santa Claus shirt this morning. Eric Stadler, the assistant chair, dressed in red for us. Guys, good morning. Good to see you again, as we always meet at this time every year. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the parade, let me get a little history of both of you with this parade. Corey, you've got a long family history with this.
Yeah, I was born into this.
Literally, yeah.
I literally was, and people always ask me, are the Appleton parades any good? And I say, yeah. I've never actually seen one, but I've never missed one either. I've always been in the back wings, either pulling signs off of cars as I was a kid, and now I'm the chairperson of the committee. My dad had this role before I did. My grandfather had it before him, so it's the family business, so to speak.
Yeah, so you're the third Otis chairperson of this parade. Eric, you're not too far behind him in years.
Right.
You've been with 20 plus years with the parade. How did you get connected with it? How did you get your start and what do you do?
Well, I got started actually more so with the Flag Day Parade and the Memorial Day Parade. With the Appleton Parade Committee, you kind of assume that you're a part of all three at some point, but my main focus when I first started was helping with the organization of the military units and whatnot for the Flag Day Parade and veteran units and such for the Memorial Day Parade and ceremony. So at some point I got a little more involved and more adapted to helping with some logistics and things for the Christmas parade. So here we are today.
Here we are. Let's give the folks some nuts and bolts about the parade. Begins a Tuesday night, 7 o'clock sharp, corner of College Avenue and State Street, then down College Avenue to Drew Street, ending at Jones Park this year?
No, we ended at Drew Street, and then some of the units will go to City Park. And the rest will disperse from there. Okay.
Then you can join us either live street side along College Avenue, or if you want to see it from the comfort of your own home, Michelle McCormack and I will be bringing it to you live here on Channel 5. We also will be live streaming it on our website, wearegreenbay.com. And then we're going to rebroadcast the parade on the afternoon and Thanksgiving at 1 in the afternoon and 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Christmas Day. Okay, we've got the nuts and bolts out of the way. Back to both of you. When this parade started planning for this year, when did you start?
Well, the Flag Day Parade was the second Saturday in June, and we had a little bit of post-mortem after that to just talk about that. We took about a month and a half off, and it was late August when we got together and started talking about the theme for this year's parade, talked about potential candidates for our parade marshal, and then got all the application materials ready. There's about a month there where it's kind of sitting around and waiting for the applications to come in, and then October 1st things really pick up because we have to go through the applications, select who's in the parade, then figure out what the order is, and then figure out all the logistics from there.
So how many people are on the committee?
I'd say 10 to 12. It kind of ebbs and flows and comes and goes as we move through the years.
So at that first meeting that you have for the next year's parade, what's the order of business here? Is it getting sponsors? Is it working with the downtown businesses? Is it coming up with new things for the next year? What do you do at that first meeting?
The first meeting is really trying to figure out what the theme is going to be and that parade marshal. And this year, we have a running list of potential candidates for our parade marshal, and it's always somebody who's been really instrumental, no pun intended, this year to the downtown Appleton climate and atmosphere and success. And this year we chose the Hyde family. It's Hyde Music's 75th anniversary. Right. And then it just seemed natural to have some type of theme that tied to music, so we picked the magic and music of Christmas.
Yeah, normally it's one person who's your parade marshal. So this is like a first for the parade of family doing it all. And you market this parade, Eric. How do you go about doing that?
Well, it's gotten to be quite a task over the years to learn how to market things. And working with WFRV and our media sponsors and helping cross-promote not only the live broadcast, but also getting people to come downtown. And so we rely on the great relationships we have with FRV and WHBY Radio and Y100 Radio, and the others, Duke FM, that come to the table to help us get the word out, but also Facebook. Facebook we have used quite a bit. We relied a lot on that with the Downtown Appleton Christmas Parade Facebook page, and this year's been a challenge because we have some scammers that have created their own Downtown Appleton Christmas Parade event pages and been sharing wrong dates, wrong times, and not updating information, obviously, because they're not privy to it. But we're not really sure what the motive is behind it. But we found out that there's about 15 fake or scammer type official or unofficial events that are out there in the Facebook land. So you want to make sure that you're following the right page so that you get the updates that we have and announcements we have of special things that'll be happening this year.
It is Tuesday night at 7, regardless of what anybody else says.
Right.
I imagine you got to work pretty close with the Appleton Police Department on this.
Oh, yeah.
Extensively.
Yeah, I mean, we basically put the lineup together and take care of some logistics, but the police department's involvement is so detailed, and we couldn't do this event without their help. I mean, they're making sure that the streets are blocked off first and foremost, but our biggest concern is the safety of the spectators and the participants and our volunteers too, and the police are huge in making sure that everybody is going to be safe and secure on Tuesday, November 21st.
It's the Appleton Christmas Parade, and we are back to talk more about it right after this. Stay with us. And we are back now with the Appleton Christmas Parade Chairman, Corey Otis, and Assistant Chair Eric Stadler. How many units this year? Any idea? Is that finalized?
Oh yeah, we are chock full at 85, and a large part of that is because of WFRV's broadcast. We want to make sure we can squeeze as much entertainment as we can into that 90-minute window.
You mentioned the theme of this year's parade, the music and magic of Christmas. How do you come up with the theme? Is it residents submitting ideas? Is it just the committee brainstorming? Who does this?
It's our brains.
It's your brains.
It is.
Who's the magic and who's the music?
No. The committee is
the music is Hyde music this year. That was part of the reason we chose that as our theme, is because we have the Hyde family as our parade marshals, being that they're celebrating their 75th anniversary in downtown Appleton. But the music and magic of Christmas, and there's so much music as part of this parade with the Appleton Christmas Parade. There's 24 bands this year that are coming from all the way from Menominee, Michigan to Bonduelle and Peshtigo,
Yes,
all over. Not to mention also our Fox Cities bands at Menasha and Appleton, all the Appleton high schools and Fox Valley Lutheran and so on. But so 24 bands. So that's a big part of it. That's that made sense, and there's a lot of magic that is a part of the Christmas season. So it goes together.
It is. You mentioned the 85 units. Is there a criteria? What's the criteria for you to get your company organization in the parade?
We had a really good problem this year in that we had 115 applicants, and that probably is a record. We don't keep records on that, but let's say it is.
It is. Yeah.
And so we had to tell 30 people that they weren't going to be in the parade. Now, some of the no's were easy to deliver. Some people just didn't give us a lot of description, so we didn't know what they were really going to bring forward. But there were some really tough choices that we had this year. We do have a pre-parade, so we managed to get a little bit of extra entertainment for the people on College Avenue to see on Tuesday, November 21st. But we look at tradition, we look at music, and then we really look at for a wow factor. And I would say over the last few years, people have really stepped up their game. We do a lot of work, the police department does a lot of work, but the people who are in the parade, they do the work. I mean, they come with just incredible floats, and they bring the magic to Christmas.
And then the people that you turn away, so to speak, do they kind of get a maybe next year from you?
Yeah, oftentimes we'll have a conversation. We'll say, hey, we really liked your application, but we had questions about this. Or, this year it was just a matter of we only have so many spots.
Right.
Flag Day is a little bit different because it's not a live broadcast, so we do have time to edit and get things down. Usually we're well over 100 units for that parade. But this one, it really forces you to make those tough, good decisions to make
Right.
sure you put the best show possible out there.
And once you have made all those decisions for those 85 for this year, what are the parameters that they have to follow? What are their rules?
Working with the theme. Working with the theme and making sure
Okay.
that they're not making it, allowing it to be a commercial opportunity. It's really important, and we stress that in the documentation that we provide, the correspondence that we have with all the units, that it's really important that you embrace the theme, embrace maybe if not the theme, but just the Christmas holiday spirit, and not allowing it to be a commercial thing. That's something that we've always hung our hat on with this parade, is not having the candy thrown out to keep things safer, but also to not allow a lot of commercialism. It's about the theme, and the same thing with Flag Day. It's about the flag. It's about Memorial Day. It's about those veterans that lost their lives, and and for our rights and our freedoms that we have. And so Christmas is no different. We are real strict about it, and that's where if units don't provide a really detailed description in their application, it's hard to accept them and find a spot for them. So, yeah.
So the units have their rules, and then every year, here's the question that I know you get asked 100 times from spectators. I want the best seat in the house. I want to get my chair on that sidewalk. What are the rules that they have to play by?
So the Common Council in Appleton passed an ordinance several years ago that says you can put your stuff down starting at noon on the day of the parade, but you got to stay with your stuff. So you can't just put it down, go back to work, or do what you need to do, and then expect to have your spot saved. There has to be a person on that blanket or near those chairs. And what we found over the last few years is that people will determine a really good location in front of an establishment that serves adult beverages, and they'll keep an eye on their blankets from the front window of that establishment. So
We're not necessarily endorsing.
we're not endorsing that.
Yeah.
We're not
But
endorsing
it's a heck of a strategy.
But we're walking up and down the avenue all day long. We'll get down there 6 in the morning, and then we'll start doing a lot of the staging activities. And we'll walk up and down the Ave all day long, and we'll see a lot of people just waiting for that parade all afternoon long.
afternoon.
Yeah, getting ready, so to speak.
Oh boy, much more to come. Appleton Christmas Parade right after this. Stay with us. Back now with the 52nd Downtown Appleton Christmas Parade with Parade Chair Corey Otis and Assistant Chair Eric Stedler. Santa Scamper. The Santa Scamper goes on about, 20 minutes before the parade actually starts. What is the Santa Scamper? As we watch it.
Yeah, you can see Eric running in it right there.
No.
It's a 1 mile fun run. Runaway Shoes helps organize that. Community First Credit Union is the sponsor, and they've been doing it, I think, 40 years now. And it's really a great event. It gets from people of all ages out there. You can see that they're dressed for the weather and also dressed for the occasion. And, everybody gets their free Santa Scamper hat. Some of our committee members have a running collection. They manage to get one every year. But
Dairy Queen, Appleton Dairy Queens give them everyone that participates a dilly bar too.
Oh my gosh!
Which is how appropriate on such a cold night.
Yeah.
But
Maybe Eric and I should run it this year. I don't know.
In past years, I have seen shirtless guys running through.
Oh yeah.
But there are also some serious runners in that race. They use that as kind of conditioning for what's coming up.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
What's coming up later in spring. Along that same line, that's not just a crazy race. There's also some good behind that. It's a food drive as well.
Oh yeah.
We have a food drive at the beginning of our parade. This year, Lawrence University is going to pull a float, and they're going to work with St. Joe's Food Program to gather non-perishable items from the spectators. So if you come out to the parade in a couple of days, make sure you bring peanut butter, canned food, something that a food pantry would want.
Sure.
And these athletes from Lawrence are going to be running sideline to sideline, so to speak, grabbing it from the people.
Okay. Now, we could have as many as 80,000 people on that College Avenue and now the entire parade route. What does that parade mean to downtown Appleton, specifically College Avenue businesses?
It's a lot of tradition. It's kind of like the unofficial start of the holiday season, really. You know, downtown Appleton hosted their Light Up Appleton event just this past Saturday, which was great. And that really is kind of considered a little precursor to the Downtown Appleton Christmas Parade, which for 52 years has been the kickstart to get people to come down to College Avenue. But not only that, the tradition, as I said, to get families brought together, the community together, all for the common good of getting in that joyous spirit.
You mentioned tradition. Take me back, and maybe you don't know. Maybe Corey would know because it's a family thing. Largest Midwest Christmas parade, at night. Who thought of this? Who started this? Who said one day we're going to do a parade that's going to be the biggest in the Midwest?
Actually, my dad was a large part of that. He worked with Harvey Sampson and a couple of downtown business owners. They got together and put this idea together more than 50 years ago now. And it started small and just started to grow over the years. Our partnership with WFRV, when it started being broadcast live, brought a lot of attention to it, and it really has gotten bigger and better every year. And I'm really proud to be a part of it.
I know that a few years ago, we had to take a break because of COVID. And we had you guys here in the studio. You were upset. That really hurt you guys.
It was sad. Yeah, we were upset, emotional about it. It was hard because there's so much passion, I think, that and appreciation we have for the community. People look forward to it. As we said a little while ago, there's so much tradition that goes around it. Bundling the kids up, getting them downtown, and watching that parade and seeing Santa Claus. All of it is so important, and it resonates with the Appleton community. So that year of COVID, though, we came up with the idea as a committee that we got to do something, and so we came up with the Santa tours, and we did 5 weeks of tours around the city, and at the end of those 5 weeks, I remember sitting with Corey and Megan and Megan Warner and a few others from the committee saying, this was the next best thing we could have done. And there's still people that talk about it today.
Yeah.
And what was the feeling when they gave you the go-ahead for next year?
For the parade?
We're okay.
Yeah.
There was a lot of relief. We're back, some of it was like we're back to normal, and then other parts were like, well, what can we do better? I think the Santa Claus coming to town really made us appreciate the parade. I don't want to say we took it for granted, but it was kind of just something you did every year. And then after you didn't get to do it, all of a sudden you really appreciate and cherish the memories and the moments. And now, like every year, I look forward to this. And I just think, we almost lost it once. So we really know what we have. So we really look forward to it.
Sure. We're back to wrap up with the Appleton Christmas Parade right after this. Stay with us. Back now at the Appleton Christmas Parade Committee Chair Corey Otis and Assistant Chair Eric Stadler. Your dad, as you mentioned, was the chair before you. He has stepped back. Has he stepped back?
You said you weren't going to surprise me with any questions. He really has. I think he's learned to enjoy the event. His last parade was 2018. It was very emotional for him and really for all of us because it was the end of an era and probably a little anxiety on my part because I knew what I was stepping into. But he has had to fill in here and there with the parades. Flag Day Parade, we needed somebody to greet the dignitaries at the reviewing stand, and he stepped up, and we had Rocky Blyer as our escort to the flag, so my dad got to greet him and bring him up to the reviewing stand. He was all over that, so he's not afraid to share his thoughts and his opinions, which is fine. That's his right as an American, but we
and as a dad.
And as a dad, and my sister is also on the committee, Megan Warner. So we'll have the parade on Tuesday night, and then we'll all get together 2 days later at Thanksgiving, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of feedback.
You are walking such a nice tightrope here that you're making sure that no feelings get hurt. You give 3 awards after the parade.
We do.
What are they for?
One is for the best non-commercial, one is for the best commercial, another one is called Through the Eyes of a Child. So we try to recognize the creativity and the innovation of the floats. We have judges, which are a lot of our spouses and a lot of people affiliated with Appleton Downtown Incorporated. And that gets harder every year too. They have a lot of tough decisions because we've had just an increase in the quality of our entrance, I would say.
Very much so. Yeah.
And I know that every year after the parade, you all have a little get-together immediately after the parade. Usually it's where, like in the basement of Basil's?
Yeah, Mark's Firefly Lounge, yeah.
It's at an undisclosed location.
A little chili, little beer. When you get to that soiree, as I'll call it, What is that for you? Is it like relief? Is it starting to talk about next year? What goes on there?
A little bit of all of that, really.
Yeah.
But it is. There's some relief of like, wow, we made it. But it's, I think, to be able to just sit back and think of what we did to get to that point, and we talk a lot about the faces of the kids and the families, and it's just a great feeling to see all the oohs and the ahs and the wows, and seeing Santa Claus. And the committee walks right behind Santa Claus, and we get to see it firsthand, and it's just fantastic. It's so rewarding. I feel sometimes, and Corey and I say, sometimes we feel we get more out of it than what we put into it, because it really is. It's rewarding, and it's great to be a part of something that does so much for the community.
Yeah, you talk about the faces of the kids, and you've seen this firsthand. I don't care how old you are at that parade, you're a kid.
Oh yeah.
When Santa and Mrs. Claus go past, you are a kid again.
You are, for sure. Yeah, there's something about it, that magic stays there. Yeah, even as an adult.
For sure. Corey, Eric, good to see you.
You too.
See you in a couple of nights.
Yeah, thank you,
Looking
sir.
forward to it.
All right. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this show, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7. Until then, have a great day.